My name's Misha Chowdhury, and I imagine that most of you who are chatting with me here in the chat know who I am. But it feels really lovely to be in an actual space and seeing your love come at me through this chat here. I'm a writer, director, and a project number one artist here at Soho Rep. And over the course of this year, I've been writing a play called Public Obscenities. It's a bilingual play in Bangla and English. And this evening, I wanted to share a little snapshot of where we are in the process of developing this piece right now. And the plan, just to give you a little bit of a sense of the arc of the evening, is that supported by my delightful creative team, Lindsay Tanner, Shukonna Chakravorty, and Partha Choudhury, I'm going to read the first scene of the piece live to you here. And then we've been working these past few weeks with an exquisite cast and creative team to bring three of the scenes of the play to life in audio form. So I'll read the first scene live to you, and then I'm going to share this audio video object, which will play. We'll listen to scenes 2, 3, and 4, and then after the audio recording is finished, I'll come back live here, and I'll be in conversation with my dear friend and longtime collaborator, Durba Mitra, a scholar of sexuality at Harvard, and we'll have a little bit of an opportunity to talk about some of the questions inspiring the piece and take questions from you all. So that's the plan. And if we are good-ish to go, thanks Ife for the hat compliment. I'm feeling as though it is making me feel safe right here, right now. I used to have a green hat, which was my brand, but I lost that green hat at Afropunk, so now I have a pink one, which is almost as good. Beautiful. It looks like people have, yes, 34 people are watching now, which is how many we had in the other link, so I feel confident that we can move forward and read this first scene. And I'm doing a little bit, speaking of hats, I'm wearing many different hats today. We switched our platform a little bit today, so I am both reading this and then I'm going to pull up the video. It's all happening in real time for you, so bear with me as I juggle these various windows on my screen. But if everyone is ready, I will dive right in and start to share this first scene with you. My name is Choton, or that's what people call me. It's my calling name. Bangalis have two names, a good name and a calling name, which you know maybe if you read Jhumpa Lahiri's Namesake. If you haven't, well, what can I say? She won a Pulitzer in the year 2000, so this is no longer niche material. Your calling name is what your family calls you in the home. But when you step out into the world in a starched school uniform, marching towards St. Lawrence or St. Xavier or St. Ignatius Loyola, the world calls you by your good name, which was there all along but dormant, waiting to be summoned forth at first roll call by Sister Mary Frances or Father Joseph. And thenceforward, you are a person of the world, a public person. With an overripe string of syllables, you now submit as proof of personhood to those who still feed you boiled rice and potatoes by hand. To them, you say, I am Abhayananda, she who delights in fearlessness, or Bhagyoshri, the fortunate one, or Chandra Prakash, the discernible light of the moon, to which they say, we know, we gave you that name. It holds no power here. To us, you will forever and always be Tinky, for example. That's my cousin. Her good name is Uddipana. We don't recycle names within the family. In fact, it used to be that if you married into this household and your name was already taken, you were just given a new name. My grandmother is Lukki, but when she married my grandfather at the age of 12, there was already a Lukki, a second cousin somewhere, so my grandmother became Purnima. Simple as that. Your good name is your exclusive signature. There's no junior or senior or so and so the second. So, with each successive generation, the names grow more and more abstract, which is accurate, I think. I've always felt more like a hypothetical than a real live boy. My grandfather's good name was Parto, which means rock, stone. He was a civil engineer who built bridges, real solid structures that hold weight and withstand the temperaments of weather. My father is a mathematician. His good name is Shomiron, a word for wind, which is gaseous, sure, invisible even, but still tethered to the physical world. My good name is Onucharjo, which is a name my grandfather made up. It means unpronounceable. He meant it poetically, of course, beyond language, beyond what can be expressed in words. But he died when I was 5 years old. And when he died, my parents moved to California, where the gift he had given me, my name, became a joke too literal to even laugh at. California meant I was denied the grand missionary school coming of age I'd been promised in Calcutta. Instead of dissolving into a vast congruity of buttoned-up brown faces whispering heathenly to one another as the priest intoned our names, I got red-faced Mrs. Rohrbach teetering at the edge of a verbal cliff before plunging valiantly into an cherry. I stopped her before she did permanent damage. The Daniels and the Rachels were already staring doubtfully at my side part and my tucked-in shirt. Chotun, I said. My name is Chotun. Chotun? She said with great relief, great globes of sweat relaxing on her brow. Oh, that's much easier. And so it was that I became permanently diminished. Chotun means little one. It was a temporary state from which I was meant to graduate. But instead, like so many things in diaspora, I got stuck, like an unwound clock. This is 46C Hemanta Mukherjee Sharoni, formerly Lakeview Road, Kolkata, formerly Calcutta, 70029. My grandfather's house. It was always his house, because he died, and the dead take up more space than the living. The whole house is an elaborate museum to the departed, us included, since America is a kind of afterlife. Everything remains just as it was. Like this, my grandfather's easy chair, exactly where it sat the day he died. Or this rubber elephant toy, which as a toddler I decorated trunk to toe with bindis. There's my father's name in the list of toppers for the West Bengal Higher Secondary exam. These glass almaris showcase generations of artifacts. My grandmother's bunti, the floor blade she brought over from Dhaka during partition, this weird little German doll Jetu gave Tinky. In Bangla, we have a word for every particular relation. Father's older brother is Jetu. His wife is Jeti. Father's sister is Bishi. I call mine Bishimuni. Her husband is Bishe. This is Bishe, shirtless at the computer, flirting in all caps with a woman in Minnesota over virtual pool.
Your turn.
The virtual queue angles itself. Bisha pictures her on the other end of it. Minnesota, a cold room somewhere, her screen cracked with frost, cold light shining off her face. Just the thought of it makes him sweat. She shoots. The striped 3-ball bolts for the corner, and just shy of the pocket, it glitches out.
Excellent shot.
Just lucky, I guess.
Nonsense. No such thing as luck. Only skill.
Show me what you got then, smiley face.
Dew sprouts from the dome of Bisha's head. This is Kolkata. April is an oven. Under the ceiling fan, Bishimoni rolls over in her sleep, her long, henna-red hair splayed like an unstitched wound around her. She has gained weight since her hysterectomy.
Bishimoni lets out a clattering snore.
Bishe aims for the leftmost edge of the solid 6-ball, hunched athletically over his mouse. He squints, breathes in, his gut accordioning, and just then...
The mobile rings, a shrill, bleeding "Sare jahan se acha," startling Piche out of his skin.
Bishimoni wakes from the dead, already mid-sentence, already her phone affixed to her ear.
Datteri?
He has missed his shot.
কতবার বলেছি ভলিউমটাকে রিডিউস করে রাখতে.
My grandmother lives in the flat just above, no more than 2 body lengths vertically. But gravity has multiplied that distance. In recent years, while Bishimoni grew thick, her mother, christened Norum Tammi by us grandkids for her famously spongy lap, has shriveled like a sun-dried plum, as if all that soft, sweet flesh were an early inheritance siphoning directly to her daughter. Now the daughter is no more capable of hoisting her weight up the one flight of stairs than the brittle mother is of braving the descent. So instead, they talk on the phone for hours, like long-distance lovers, both horizontal on their mattresses, stacked one above the other.
দাঁড়াও, একটা কল ওয়েটিং পাচ্ছি।
She squints at her phone.
শোনো, ছোটন ফোন করছে, তোমাকে কল ব্যাক করছি।
She answers the waiting call.
কি রে, পৌঁছে গেছিস?
That's me on the phone, en route from the airport.
ফ্লাইট ঠিক ছিল তো? ঘুমোতে পেরেছিলি একটু?
গাড়ির নম্বরটা দাঁড়াও বলছি।
পিসে বলছেন গাড়ির নম্বরটা
WB02AF64।
অলরেডি গাড়িতে মানে? সে কি? আরে ফোন করবি তো একবার গাড়িতে ঢুকে। সাদার্ন অ্যাভিনিউ মানে তো বাড়ি পৌঁছেই গিয়েছিস। এই জিতেশ, আগে থেকে খাবার গরম করে রাখতাম। এই জিতেশ,
যাই।
ভাত খাবি তো পৌঁছে? না না, আমাদের কোথায় খাওয়া, পিসে এখনো স্নানেই ঢোকেননি। এই তোর বন্ধু চিকেন খায় তো, পিসে পাতলা চিকেনের ঝোল করে রেখেছেন, আর তোর জন্য ডিম সেদ্ধ। তুই তো কিছুই খাবি না।
Shoton wanders into the stairwell where Jitesh is making his way down one step at a time.
Jitesh has been with the family since he was 12 years old. He cooked and cared for my grandfather, and now Norum Tammi, the last of that generation still living in the house. The dead stare down unsmiling from the plaster, black and white portraits covered in a skin of dust. Growing up, the house was full to bursting. This stairwell was the main artery, grandkids bounding up the steps in twos and skidding down the banister. Now everyone has scattered to Muscat and Melbourne and Toronto. Everything that remains is rickety and slothful. Even the sparrows vying for the fish bones scattered on the windowsill have a heaviness to them. Nothing moves. Only Jitesh passes between the 3 floors, himself hunched and arthritic, a surrogate body for the willfully still.
Jitesh makes his way past Choton into Piche and Pishimoni's flat.
শোন, খাবারগুলো মাইক্রোওভেনে গরম করতে দে, ছোটনরা প্রায় পৌঁছে গিয়েছে। এই আর 2খানা জলের বোতল নিয়ে আয় তো, মিনারেল ওয়াটার, ওরা নিচে খাবে এখানে।
That's Bishimoni's dog, Bongo. Ever since he took a sizable bite out of the Shobjiwala's left butt cheek, he stays locked in this empty flat. Let me show you the upstairs. This is the Choto Chat, my grandfather's little rooftop garden. Seems like the plants, at least, are thriving. My grandfather was an assiduous gardener, or so I'm told. Bishimoni says the day he died, there was a crow staring at her from among these chrysanthemums. And when she shooed, it refused to budge. And when she got closer, she could see the crow's eyes were her father's eyes, unmistakably. And that's how she knows he's still here, still tending to his garden. Really, it's Jitesh who wakes every morning at 5 to hose down the pots and trim the dead leaves and pick flowers for the takurkor.
He bounds up the stairs.
This is the takurkor. I used to love coming up here as a kid with Norum Tammi, the way she smelled of talcum, the way she bathed each of her gods and goddesses and arranged flowers in finicky little designs at their feet like this one. See? Jitesh does them now. Everything always felt so crisp and possible up here before the heat of the day settled in. Look, there's even a Jesus. This is a conch my great-grandmother gathered from a beach in Puri.
He blows into the conch. It sputters.
I'm out of practice.
He tries again. After a few flatulent attempts, he manages.
You're meant to do it 3 times, at dawn and at dusk.
He sounds the conch again, and then again, interrupted by a car horn. Choton bounds down 2 flights of stairs.
This used to be my Jitu's flat. When he died of liver cirrhosis, Jiti moved to Bangalore to live with her eldest son. The back flat was always rented out, but after the last tenant complained of cockroaches and split, Bisha never bothered finding a new one. When we were kids, these doors were open permanently. We ate dinner on whichever floor, in whichever flat, at whichever table tempted us. Now they're locked and empty. Jitesh lets the Jamadar through once a month for dusting. This is the collapsible gate. Careful not to get your fingers caught.
The sound of a gate collapsing open.
Hear that? Even the gate groans. People come and go so rarely now, its joints have atrophied.
Rahim enters, dragging 2 suitcases behind him.
And this is my boyfriend, Rahim.
Choton takes a suitcase from him.
It's his first time in India. We've just arrived at the house after a 26-hour journey. Ready?
No.
Bishimoni!
এসে গেছিস? দাঁড়া, চাবিটা নামাচ্ছি।
A key descends on a string.
And that is the end of the first scene. Thank you for listening to a live performance from us as the creative team. And now we will hand it over to the actual actors, the actual cast who did such beautiful work bringing scenes 2, 3, and 4 to life. So I'm going to switch hats here for a moment and bring that video up, and we will watch it together, and then I will see you on the flip side to talk a little bit about what we all just experienced. Thanks for being here. I am going to share my screen.
Like it?
It's delicious.
Uncle has cooked this one. Not very spicy. Little bit spicy, little bit oil. Bland আর কি?
Not at all.
Not a bland night. She doesn't mean bland. She means like it's light. It's not too rich.
Light, simple. Uncle cooks like this only.
Tastes like something my mom would make.
You like it?
Yeah, it's super tasty.
Tasty?
বললো it's something his mom would make.
কি?
শুনতে পাচ্ছ না?
বাবা তোরা যা স্পিডে কথা বলিস না, বোঝাও
বলছে ওর মাও
সম্ভব।
এরকম রান্না করে।
Your mother cooks like this only?
Reminds me of something she would make, yeah.
শোন, সেদিন না টিভিতে দেখছিলাম ভিয়েতনামে নাকি কুমড়ো ফুল দিয়ে একটা
English.
I'm telling, on TV I saw, in Vietnam only, they're making এই কুমড়ো ফুলের ইংরেজিটা কি রে?
Pumpkin.
Gourd. Pumpkin, yes. In Vietnam, I saw they're making the stuffed pumpkin flower. Bengalis, we also make this pumpkin flower. We call it kumro phul. Okay, chere kumro phul.
She's asking if you've
It
had.
is not available this time. Next time you come in October, November, I will make it.
Yes, please.
It is a Bengali delicacy, but not stuffed. We make it fried. In Vietnam, I saw they put prawn, pork. I love to watch these things. In which country, which food they're eating. বাহ, ভালো ছেলে, হাত দিয়ে খেয়ে নেয়, কোনো সমস্যা নেই। নো সমস্যা, গুড বয়।
She's shaming me for not eating with my hands.
What can I say? I'm a good boy.
Which food you are eating there in New York?
আবার এই প্রশ্ন।
আরে I want to know what is the cuisine. আমার খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং লাগে বিভিন্ন দেশে what type of food is available.
We eat all kinds of things.
পাস্তা না?
Sometimes, sure.
ছোটন, he make pasta for us and pancake also. মনে আছে?
অনেক বাঙালি রান্নাও করছি আজকাল।
তাই নাকি?
I've been making নরম ঠাম্মি's রুই মাছ recipe, ওই টমেটো ওলাটা, but with cod.
বাহ, very good boy.
Ha.
That tomato cod thing is fire.
Which food you like best? Chicken or fish?
Oh, I like both.
Both.
পিসমণি ওই দেশে তো, like one night we might have pasta, another night we might have bhat dal, then we might have, I don't know, Vietnamese food, Ethiopian.
Vietnamese.
For example,
I think in America you're having people from all countries. তাই না? Basically you're from which country?
he's American, পিসমণি.
But originally you are from?
I mean, I grew up in South Carolina, but both my parents are from Chicago.
ক্যারোলাইনাতে না খুকি মাসি থাকে?
ওটা North Carolina. My great aunt lives in Charlotte.
Very intelligent lady. Your mother, she speaks which language?
Oof.
She speaks English.
English only?
পিসমণি ওর মা তো ও দেশেই বড় হয়েছে।
Mother tongue is English.
I mean, but yes,
And grandmother speaks?
also English.
How do we explain?
There was this little thing called the Middle
Oh
Passage.
God.
কি বলছিস?
কিছু না।
ওকে বাংলা শেখা, এতটা ইংরেজি পারছি না। তোর যে সে বন্ধু মার্টিন এসেছিল, ও তো দিব্যি বাংলা বলতো।
She's saying my friend Martin came and learned Bangla.
He
so-
speaks like a Bengali only. You learn Bengali. Bengali is a very old, beautiful language.
Rahim knows Shushuri.
Shushuri you know? Shushuri is very important. দে তো একটু।
খাচ্ছিস তোরা?
এই যে
চিকেনটা খেয়েছিস?
দারুণ হয়েছে চিকেনটা। He's asking if we had the chicken.
You have tasted?
Yeah, it's delicious. Thank you.
This is simple preparation. No oil. Only black pepper, salt.
Little bit?
Oh no, I'm good, thanks. I'm totally full.
Fool.
I had way too much already.
ও তো তাও খায়, তুই তো কিছুই খেলি না।
খেলাম তো।
কোথায় একটা মিষ্টি দাও দেখি।
You okay? Sure.
Choton, you know, he used to only take boiled egg, boiled rice, little bit boiled
This is
potato.
20 years ago.
Now he eats.
And I have a nice little booty to show for it.
বাবা, তোর আবার ভুঁড়ি।
So Rohim, how you are finding India?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I've really only seen the airport in this house, but so far so.
কোথায়? দেখছি না তো।
কি?
সন্দেশ।
আরে ওখানেই আছে।
We're planning on going up to Tikiapara.
কে পাড়া?
Howrah station এর কাছে?
ওকে ভিক্টোরিয়া মেমোরিয়ালে নিয়ে যা।
English.
You have seen Victoria Memorial?
I've seen pictures.
Beautiful না?
Rahim's a big Mrinal Sen fan, so we want to go see where Calcutta 71 was
মৃণাল
shot.
সেন?
Yeah, yep, bye.
They know মৃণাল সেন in US?
Not really.
Ray they know, I know, but Sen I didn't know.
My dad was actually a big movie buff, and Kandahar was his all-time favorite film, and he saw it in Chicago back in.
বোঝো।
তুই রহিমকে দাদুর রলিকটটা দেখেছিস?
কি হলো?
বলছি নেই।
নেই মানে কোথায় গেল?
Did I hear roller court?
My father's old rolly cord is there. Chotonas showed you?
No.
I literally have no idea what word you all are saying.
Dadur camerata. You like to see?
I love that.
Dana. Jitesh?
Oh, there's no rush.
Rahim loves old stuff. If it isn't fully disintegrating, he won't even look at it.
Which is how you caught my eye.
That is...
Accurate.
Hey, Jitesh!
So, photography is your subject, Rohim? মানে professionally?
Photography na, film.
তুই যে বলেছিলি photography?
Director of
I
photography.
mean, photography is accurate.
He means...
I know, but photography is my subject. That's a true statement.
We have many cinemas also, very nearby. Old cinema hall, Priya Cinema is there, Bijoli, Menoka.
Oh, yeah? You holding out on me?
All Hindi, no subtitles.
So?
শোন বাবার ক্যামেরাটা একটু নিয়ে আয় তো
ক্যামেরা
স্টিলের আলমারির চাবিটা নিয়ে যা
Many English films are there also.
Oh, I want the Hindi films.
I don't,
Why?
because I don't speak Hindi.
হিন্দি is there, Bengali is there, English is also there.
Shen is not so artistic, I think. তাই না? Not like Ray.
Oh,
Tasteful, I mean.
disagree.
Tasteful mane?
I mean, পথের পাঁচালী অপরাজিত, these are masterpiece, isn't it? Camera work is, কি বলবো, ছবির মতো, like painting.
I would argue Sen's sensibilities are much more painterly
Sen?
than... Definitely. I mean, Ray, he was interested in realism, right? A kind of neorealism. And
So was Sen, though.
sure, of course, but in terms of cinematography, I think Sen's use of the camera is more expressionistic. I mean, look at Bhuvan Shom. That movie is all about aesthetics, and that was at the start of his career. If you look at his later work,
বাঙালিদের চেয়ে বেশি কেন
What do you mean about aesthetics? Isn't every film by its nature
I mean,
about...
sure.
See, this is exactly the kind of... I mean, taste, aesthetics, aren't these just code words for kind of a middle-class moral anxiety?
And Ray's movies weren't about middle class anxiety?
Oh, they definitely were. I just like them better.
ও কি করে শিখলো এত বাংলা সিনেমা সম্বন্ধে
Are, that's jab we met in South Asian visual cultures.
কি কালচার
I just feel like Sen stuff is bolder. He uses a bolder brush.
হ্যাঁ, bold, you can say.
And anyway, credit for all of Ray's classic scenes goes to his DP.
তোর না ইংলিশ ছিল সাবজেক্ট
তাই তো
তাহলে তুই যে
English মানে at the PhD level, English is বিভিন্ন subject. History, art, film studies, performance studies, মিশিয়ে একটা, especially in my department, interdisciplinary যাকে বলে।
আচ্ছা, Chicago is near to Minnesota, তাই না? I am having one friend there in Minnesota. She tells me it is a sub-zero zone. Is it so?
Oh, it's cold for sure. What do they call it? Lake something?
What?
Lake
Michigan?
effect. Lake effect.
Whole year sub-zero?
I don't know about sub-zero, but in the winters, it's
He means
definitely...
0 centigrade, like below freezing.
Oh, it's freezing for like half the year. We used to go visit my grandma all the time. In the summer, it actually gets pretty hot, though.
Summer is hot?
I mean, what y'all have going on here is next level.
Next level, na? Your Pishimoni, she says to me, why can you not put pant shirt like a civilized fellow? But I am saying it is a question of climate. Each one should make adjustment, তাই না? This one, it is a tropical zone, Bengal. Even Delhi, that is a different zone.
জানিস টিভিতে সেদিন দেখলাম
English.
that day I saw even tropical there are different type এখানে নাকি সাভানা
That
সত্যি আমি ভেবেছিলাম শুধু আফ্রিকাতে I thought only in Africa they are having savanna
your Pishimoni is a great believer in TV. টিভিতে যাই বলে সেটাই
আরে
আর কি
বাবা
ও-
এটা আসল দেখো একবার তোমার গুগলে
এই যে
সাম চাটনি রহিম
Oh, no, I'm good, thanks.
দেখি
ইট ইজ পেপে কি বলে ওই পাপায়া স্পেশাল রেসিপি উই কল ইট প্লাস্টিক চাটনি
বললো China পিছনে।
ডোন্ট ওয়ান্ট
I'll take a little bit.
ঠিক
ইন্টারেস্টিং না?
Do you mind if I...
প্লিজ।
এই একটু দেখ তো ফ্রিজে সন্দেশের বাক্সটা পাস কিনা
Do you know how old it is? Like what year?
Old.
I think 52, 53 must have been. That time we used to take family trip during summer holidays. Whole family. Ma, Baba, myself the youngest, Dadamoni, Di Bhai, Bodda. I think Baba purchased Rollycord when I was 4 or 5 years. Then on, he kept it always around his neck. So many shots are there of us four on the train compartment to Mussoorie, trekking in Dehradun, Kashmir.
হি প্রেফার্ড অ্যাকশন শট। কি কি কথাটা বলে,
কি
আরে কি ক্যামেরা, ক্যান্ডিড ক্যান্ডিড, হি প্রেফার্ড ক্যান্ডিড শট, নান অফ দিস গিভিং পোজ স্টাইল মারা।
কোথায় পেলি?
ওই যে
But zero photos are there of Baba himself actually, because he refused anyone else to take photo.
কি বলছো?
আরে one or two other photos are there, but এই ক্যামেরা দিয়ে তোলা। আচ্ছা, লাইট মিটারটা কোথায় বলতো?
কোনটা?
আরে ওই একটা চৌকো মতন।
ওই তো।
আরে না রে বাবা, কোথায় যে সব হারিয়ে ফেলে। ক্যামেরার সাথেই তো থাকা উচিত ছিল।
নাও রহিম,
দিস ইজ বেঙ্গলি স্পেশালিটি, নলেন গুড়ের সন্দেশ।
Nice. I'll try one in a bit. Thanks.
তুই তো খাবি না মিষ্টি।
No.
You are interested in this?
Very.
Take it then.
Oh, no.
There it is only gathering dust. You take it.
Can you even get film for a camera like this still?
ফটোশপ ইজ দেয়ার, ওকে লেক মার্কেটে নিয়ে যাস। ওই AR ফটোগ্রাফি আছে না?
I don't know about here, but I bet you can get.
ইয়েস ইয়েস, ইউ ক্যান গেট। ওখানে নিয়ে গেলেই পেয়ে যাবি। ট্রাইং টু ওপেন ইট?
Yeah, I'm trying to open the magazine.
লেট মি সি।
আচ্ছা, রহিম, is it a Muslim name?
See?
One footballer was there, football coach, Muslim.
পাকিস্তানি ক্রিকেটার ইজ দেয়ার অলসো, রহিম।
It's an Arabic name.
Arbi, na? So, which religion you are then?
Pishimoni.
I mean, I'm not, but my family's mostly Christian.
You know, even we have got one Jesus. Hindus actually, we are believing all gods. তাই না?
That is definitely
এই
not.
চশমাটা কই দাও তো। মাই ফ্রেন্ড অ্যাকচুয়ালি শি ইজ খ্রিস্টান অলসো। শি হ্যাজ গট ওয়ান চার্চ দেয়ার মিনেসোটাতে, ব্যাপটিস্ট।
মাহালিয়া জ্যাকসন না ব্যাপটিস্ট ছিল?
Is Mahalia Jackson Baptist?
No idea.
When she came in Calcutta, we all went to see. 1970-71 must be. Baba, myself, Dadamoni. Choto's father, I call him Dadamoni. Others were not there.
Baba also told Rahim this story.
আর কি গলা, মানে ভাবা যায় না।
Is she black? Your Minnesota friend?
নো নো, শি ইজ আমেরিকান অনলি।
Like, you've seen a photo?
হ্যাঁ, শি ইজ টেলিং মি হার ফ্যামিলি গ্র্যান্ড প্যারেন্টস কেম ফ্রম কোথায় যেন,
ভালোই বন্ধু জুটেছে।
সুইডেন সুইডেন।
Oh, this is the.
Yeah.
All day he's playing billiards. 6-7 hours.
তুমি জানোই না?
কি জানি না, দিন রাত কম্পিউটারে পিটির পিটির।
তুমি কি করো সারাদিন?
আমি তো কিছুই করি না।
কি করো তুমি?
বললাম তো, কিচ্ছু না, চুপ করে বসে থাকি, একদম লক্ষ্মী মেয়ে।
গুড, সাম পিস অ্যান্ড
I
কোয়াইট।
think this is the.
রান্না বান্না, ঘরদোর পরিষ্কার, এগুলো সব নিজে থেকেই হয়ে যায়, তাই না? ম্যাজিক।
তুমি ঘর পরিষ্কার?
বাড়ির ম্যানেজটা কে করে?
There's a roll of film in here.
আরে বাস,
What?
এই দেখো
কি
ক্যামেরার ভিতর কি রয়েছে দেখো।
Well, that's
কি বুঝতে পারছি না।
crazy.
কবেকার একটা ফিল্ম পড়ে রয়েছে।
কিসের ফিল্ম?
আরে ক্যামেরার ফিল্ম রে বাবা।
You think?
দিস ইজ এনশিয়েন্ট, ইউ নো। ওই কি কথাটা বলে, ফসিল
দেখি।
ফসিল। রহিম হ্যাজ
কি
ডিসকভার্ড।
বাবার তোলা ছবি?
জিতেশ,
যাই।
সে কি গো?
এই দেখ, অদ্ভুত জিনিস দেখবি একটা।
হ্যাঁ?
জানিস কি এটা?
কি?
বাবার তোলা ছবি, 30 বছর আগেকার।
হ্যাঁ?
We should put it in something, get it out of the light.
You think I mean, there's no way we could still get it developed, right?
How old is it?
At least 30 years? I was 5 when the other died.
Yeah,
and-
I mean, film definitely deteriorates, especially in this heat.
ফিল্ম
It's worth giving it a try.
I didn't know film lasted that long.
কোথায় ছিল?
আরে ক্যামেরার ভিতর। এই দেখ।
ভাবা যায় না না?
Do you have a Ziploc bag?
কি ব্যাগ?
Does it need to be Ziploc?
Just something that has good seal.
Something like this?
Let me see.
Jitesh da, kono khali টিফিনের কোটো আছে কি?
Yeah, this'll work.
দিবি নাকি একটা? To store the film, right?
Yeah, we definitely want to keep it cool and dry and away from
ভাবার
light.
চেষ্টা করছি আর কেউ তুলে থাকতে পারে কিনা ছবি।
কে আর তুলবে?
Thank you.
ক্যামেরাটা তো আলমারির মধ্যেই পড়েছিল।
Cool if I keep this in a fridge somewhere?
ফ্রিজ?
Until we get it developed, it's the best place.
এই জিতেশ,
This is cool, I got it.
কৌটোটা উপরের ফ্রিজে রেখে আয় তো। He will keep it in the upstairs freeze.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
ফ্রিজ
বাপ, ঠান্ডায় রাখা উচিত নাকি?
এই খেয়ে ফেলিস না কিন্তু।
You said like, don't eat it?
What?
Nothing. Never mind. It's nothing. How about couple from LA, researcher and cinematographer? No one knows what a DP is here.
But yes, cinematographer is fine.
Was that too daunting? How about writer and cinematographer?
Writer and filmmaker?
Ooh, okay. Couple from LA, writer and filmmaker. That feels appropriately fancy.
Yeah, it feels kind of sexy.
Like I would hang out with these people. Working on a project, archiving queer. Should I put that? Does it dissuade people?
Nobody reads your profile.
Exactly, so is it even worth announcing it there?
I don't know. Does that, like... Aren't you supposed to disclose?
No, but maybe I just do that when I'm actually messaging with
Sure.
someone. Unless it helps self-select. I'm gonna keep it for now. If nobody bites, then
Research!
maybe I should put one of us is Bangali.
Guess
Might
which?
make us more approachable to class brackets that aren't as English speaking. Your profile is under moderation. Oakley doke, the bait is cast.
You sure you want me in the picture?
Totally, it's the two of us. Plus, you're just hotter than me,
Oh, okay then.
objectively speaking.
I'm also, black, which has been known to have a deterrent effect on this particular platform, objectively speaking.
We're not in LA anymore, Toto. Here, you're American.
We'll see.
Grab these two corners and then lift it up, but keep the netting on the mattress. Basically, we're creating this little mosquito-free zone in there while we...
Got it.
This is a moshari.
Say it again?
Moshari.
Mashari.
Moshari.
Mashari.
Moshari.
Mashari.
I love sleeping under it for a few reasons. One, it's an automatic princess slumber party. Two, the ceiling fan, it's too hot to not have it on, but also if it's directly on me all night, I wake up sneezing, but then the moshari catches its wind like a sail, cooling the room and keeping the draft off me. And three, last but not least, it keeps the mosquitoes out. Mostly. Like everything in this house, the mosharis are prehistoric. Holes have been patched and repatched, and while the nets degrade, the mosquitoes just get wilier. Mind you, we're in the part of town where you're likely to find Anopheles mosquitoes, the little buggers that carry malaria. After moving to the States when we came back to visit, I had to take an anti-malarial, this daily quinine pill. It was so bitter. I always had trouble swallowing, so I could taste it, and it gave me these graphic, technicolor dreams. I refused to take it. My mom tried everything, crushing it up in a spoonful of sugar, the Indian kind with big coarse crystals, or she'd hide it in a slice of banana. But no matter what, that powerful bitterness seeped through. I would throw the most theatrical tantrums while my cousins looked on, marveling at how quickly I'd become an American. Then, my Boropishi died. my father's eldest sister, of malignant malaria. That's her there, next to Jetu and Dadu. They've all retired to their final incarnation, stern faces and picture frames. Jitesh sets a little cupful of water in front of them each morning, just as he does with the gods and goddesses, and sometimes, on special occasions, something sweet. Shondish or a narkil naru. That's Norum Tami's room. This is the Boshar Ghar, the room for sitting, the sitting room. Usually, this is where Jitesh sleeps, but Bishe insisted on sending us upstairs so we'd have more privacy.
I feel bad. Where's he gonna sleep then?
He's asleep right now.
On the floor like that?
He's sleeping here with us. Wow, he got so old.
Isn't there a whole other apartment?
Here, do the last one. You know, I used to have a thing for him. I used to watch him take his snan. The door to that little bathroom out on the chat doesn't shut all the way. This is when I was like, what, 7, 8 maybe? He had a smooth chest, I remember that. I'd never seen that. I thought all Indians must be hairy because everyone in my family hairs everywhere, growing out their noses, their ears, even the women. You have that to look forward to, your hairs.
What am I doing with this?
Make a loop like this. My grandmother had this one long white hair growing out of her chin. It was so long, but you could only see it from a certain angle because it was so fine, like almost translucent.
Then what?
Just hang it on the hinge.
Like this?
Chinny chin chin. What is that? Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
What do you mean, what is it?
One little piggy went to market, one little piggy went home.
Nope, that's different.
There's another pig's one?
I fucked it up. This corner is way lower.
No, just pull the... Here. And then just make sure to tuck in all the sides. Or actually, get in first and then tuck. Like this. Get in super fast so they don't get in. And then tuck. Care to join me?
Where's the adapter thingy?
In my backpack.
Where?
Check the diagonal.
This?
No, that's the converter for my shaver. There should be... just be a bunch of them in a little pouch. Will you plug in mine too? It's on the divan.
I don't see them.
Here, bring it over. We should minimize getting in and out. There, little pouch. Little pouch, little pouch.
Where's your charger?
Is it not? I thought it was in... Oh, wait. I brought it downstairs to charge, but then... I plug it in by the door usually. There's 2 plug points. You can unplug the goodnight. We have the mosheries up.
This?
Careful, yeah, there's liquid in there. Just put it on the window.
What is it?
It's like an anti-mosquito thing. Yeah, wiggle it a little. There.
It's not charging.
Did you turn on the switch?
What switch?
You have to turn on the switch next to... Yep. And then turn it off when you unplug.
Why?
So you don't get electrocuted. That's 220 volts. Turn the fan down too since you're there. That little knob.
It's literally 1 million
Or
degrees.
actually turn that on and turn this one down. That way it won't be directly above us. It's the top left switch. Oop. Just kidding. Try the bottom left. And then turn the left knob to the middle setting.
How come I haven't seen any?
What?
Mosquitoes.
Oh, they're here. Thank you.
Should I turn the lights off?
Hold on. Now I have to... Why do we have to pee? How is that not a thing humans have solved yet?
You pee more than most people.
Because I drink water.
You also just pee more.
I drank like 4 whole Bisleri bottles today.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Your pee is smelly and yellow. If you drank enough water, you'd have to pee too.
I know, that's why I don't.
What?
That's why I don't.
Hold on. Smello.
I don't know if I like this. Do I like this?
Tuck.
I did tuck.
You look like a...
Careful. Like a what?
Never mind.
Like a what?
Lights off.
What were you gonna say?
We leave the light on out there. Jitesh has to take her to the bathroom like 10 times a night, and each time is a whole Boop. We got a message from queering exclamation point. Okay. Promising. Good evening. Nice DP. What's DP?
Duh.
Aw, you are a nice DP. But like, actually, what does he mean? Dick pic? We don't have a dick pic. DP. DP short for dynamic programming, not to be confused with double penetration. Oh, is that what he means? That doesn't...
Because there's two of us?
Two penises being inserted simultaneously into the anus. Yep, but that doesn't... Aha! DP is double penetration or display picture.
Display picture? I've never seen that.
More part of the Indian Grindr lexicon props.
Look, you're learning.
Yes!
Research.
I'm doing research. Thanks. You too.
Well, are you lying? Can you lie, or does that like break your IRB ethnography code of ethics or whatever?
No, he's actually cute.
Let me see. Oh, okay. I see a little faux hawk throwback. Okay. You too? Like the band? Did you really?
What? It's the internet. Isn't that...
It's the internet?
Look, another one. We're hopping. You are from, dear? I like that, dear. How sweet do... We need more Grindr sweetos. See, he used the letter U. I'm just adopting the local vernacular, okay? Whoop. Sweeto sent.
Oh, wow.
Sweeto, not so sweeto. Whoop, another one. See, we are hot commodities here in Cal. I told you. Not so much in Cali, but in Cal. This guy's screen name is in Bangla.
Screen name? How are you
Gaja
even...
Kor. Weed something. Gaja is weed.
Is ganja an...
Indian word, yep. That's all us.
I did not know that.
Probably podhead Gaja Kor.
I mean, I would like some weed.
You want to message him? Be forewarned, the weed here is...
What?
It's a grab bag. You never know what you're gonna get.
Okay, Mom.
I'm just saying, this isn't some gourmet dispensary weed sommelier situation.
Don't worry, I've had plenty of mediocre weed.
Hi there.
But also, if you don't want to use your professional grinder for...
I love that, my professional grinder.
I mean, that's what it is.
No, you're right, I just... Looking for... some gourmet ganja? You're right, we shouldn't squander our grinder capital on weed. And if he doesn't want to do an interview, then we can always hit him up.
Don't worry about the weed. I will find weed.
I guess this is where I make the ask. We're actually a couple from the States, and we're here conducting, or we're looking to do some interviews with folks who use Grindr in Kolkata. Would you be interested? Or maybe, would you be interested in meeting up? A little more room for interpretation?
Why not?
Send.
Do it.
Sent. You sleepy?
Kinda. You?
Not even a little. It's what, 1 p.m. in LA? 1:30? Tell me a ghost story. तेरा शादी लेबर जबर जबर 3 बार एकदम
Ganja man?
Nope. Queering exclamation point says, "What's up?" Crickets from Ganjakor. He's online though. That green dot is there next to his name. I feel like there's a way to do it that's less formal, you know? Not much. Just arrived today, so jet lag. ব্যক্তিগত
Hmm?
Hmm?
You say something?
Oh, I have no idea what this word. Grinding in Bangla is a trip. He wants to meet up, though.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this guy, hi, do you have a place now? Hi, how are you? Double question mark in less than 5 minutes.
Wowza.
Persistence is not always the answer, my friend. Cool if I tell him to come over at noon?
Come over here.
Is it cool?
No, I guess that makes the most sense.
That way you have all your gear in case.
So they want to do an interview?
I think it's too quick. I think we need, I don't know, to like meet up informally, get to know them before springing the.
That makes sense.
You know?
Is that photo store walking distance?
What photo? Oh, for the film?
Maybe we go beforehand, drop it off?
Yeah, we can walk. Maybe my grandfather had a double life. Maybe he had a whole other family.
Maybe.
Or maybe every time he cut his toenails, he put them in a neat little line and took close-ups of them.
So there's a hidden stash.
Of toenails?
Of toenail fetish pics.
Right. দাদু, তুমি কি তোমার পায়ের নখের ছবিগুলো কোথাও লুকিয়ে রেখেছো? I asked him.
What'd he say?
Takes a while. There's this whole other circuitry the question has to travel through, you know? And then who knows if he remembers where he put them. It's not instantaneous.
Gotcha.
Right there. That's where he died, in that easy chair. Jesus!
What?
Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
What was that?
She has nightmares.
আস্তে আস্তে এই হ্যাঁ আমার হাতটা ধরো এখানে এখানে ধরো
We used to take turns sleeping with her, me and Dinky. Sometimes we'd both squeeze in there. She'd sleep on that single bed in Pisha's computer room, just sandwiching her. 2 little twiglets. And she was like this big, soft kolbalish. Like this, kolbalish. But better, you know? Warm. Not like Dadu. I mean, he was super loving, my grandfather, but he was like a gentleman, you know what I mean? Like an actual padrulo. Everything sharp in its place. But Norum Tummy, she would just kind of smother us, just scoop us into all that jelly.
We should probably set an alarm, huh? I'm just saying if we don't, we might sleep through the interview.
I just want to wake up naturally.
Hey, it's your work. I'm just the cameraman.
What time?
Up to you.
10?
You have things you need to get done before?
9. Oh, look. More sweet too.
Nice. It's kind of hot, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a nice view. Show me that one. Yeah, he's hot.
You like him?
Yeah, he has a nice dick. Can I see?
I set it for 9:30.
আপনাকে দেখে কিন্তু এনআরআই মনেই হয় না, হাবভাব পুরোই বাঙালি।
আরে বাঙালি তো।
না মানে কলকাতার ছেলেমেয়েরাই বাংলা বলতে পারে না আজকাল, এদিকে আপনি বাইরে থেকেও এত ভালো
আচ্ছা,
বাংলা
আমাকে
বলতে
দেখে
পারেন।
কি খুব বয়স্ক মনে হয়?
হ্যাঁ, মোটেও না।
তাহলে প্লিজ তুমি বলো, আপনারটা ভীষণই...
সত্যি কথা বলতে গ্রাইন্ডারে দেখে ভাবলাম নিশ্চয়ই কোনো মডেলের ছবি লাগিয়েছে,
ধ্যাৎ,
তারপর এসে দেখছি আসলেই খুব hot।
যা তা।
না মানে ডিপিটা তো কোনো মডেলিং শটই হবে নাকি?
আরে রাহিমের মাঝে মধ্যেই ফটোশ্যুট করার ইন্তু হয়, ফলে আমাদের অজস্র গ্ল্যামার শট লাইটিং দিয়ে অনেক বুলটুল মারা যায়।
ক্যামেরাটা কি নিকন?
কি?
আমার বন্ধুরও কিন্তু নিকন। এটার মডেলটা কি?
এই রে, ক্যামেরা নিয়ে প্রশ্ন রাহিমকে করো, এই ব্যাপারে আমি পুরোপুরি ইলিটারেট।
ও বাংলা বোঝে?
কে রাহিম? খুবই সামান্য, আস্তে আস্তে শেখানোর চেষ্টা হচ্ছে।
আমারও বয়ফ্রেন্ড ছিল একজন নাইজেরিয়ান,
আচ্ছা,
মোহামেডান স্পোর্টিংয়ের স্ট্রাইকার ছিল। আর কি মাসল রে বাবা, উফ! মানে ও পুরো ঝড়, আমি মাইরি শুকনো ঝড়ে কাঁপা পাতা।
আলাপ হলো কি করে?
রবির ওদিকে যেও, গ্রাইন্ডারে বেশ কয়েকটা ফুটবলার পাবে।
রিয়েলি?
শরীরে প্রচন্ড শক্তি ওদের, তাই না?
কাদের? ফুটবলারদের?
What?
The gay black footballers of Calcutta.
Black?
We rolling?
Not yet.
'Cause this is
ও কিন্তু পুরো স্ট্রেট ছিল।
ছিল হয়তো।
মানে
বললেন না বয়ফ্রেন্ড তোমার?
গের বয়ফ্রেন্ড তো স্ট্রেটই হওয়া উচিত।
স্ট্রেট মানে?
কতির সাথে পুরুষ মানুষই তো শোয়।
Oh, I see. He's saying quote unquote real men sleep with... How to translate?
কতি ইজ গে।
I don't know if...
তাহলে হোয়াট ইজ গে?
I think Koti is more...
রিসিভার, হু রিসিভস।
So I'm the coach.
I mean, there is that valence to it, but
হ্যাঁ, ইউ আর কতি? নো,
I'm the receiver.
it's also about...
ইউ আর রিসিভার? কি বলছেন দিদি?
কেন, আমাকে দেখে কি মনে হয় পারবো না? He was saying he had a Nigerian... Sorry, I'm realizing I didn't ask. তোমার pronouns কি?
হ্যাঁ,
Which actually, because in Bangla there are no gendered pronouns, right? So it's a strange... I've never really thought about it like that. How we differentiate based on location. Like, A is like this person here, and O is them over there, and register is a formality, but no gender.
আমি কিন্তু ভাই বাংলা মিডিয়াম, আপনাদের মতো ফড়ফড় করে ইংরেজি বলতে পারি না।
বলছিলাম বাংলায় তো কোনো জেন্ডার প্রোনাউন নেই, তাই
তার মানে
ইংরেজিতে যেমন হি, শি, হিজ, হার, বাংলাতে তো সেরকম কিছু নেই। উই জাস্ট হ্যাভ এ এর, ও ওর, সে তার, উনি ওনার, which again is that formal আপনি register, ইনি এনার, এনারা এনাদের, তিনি তার, তারা
মামাটি মানুষ।
তাদের।
আচ্ছা, একটু চা পাওয়া যাবে কি?
Oh, for sure. দেখি আছে কিনা। জিতেশ দা,
যাই।
you want tea?
No, I'm good, thanks.
এটা কি ইউটিউবে যাবে
Which?
ভিডিওটা?
Nah, don't worry. And if you're worried about privacy, we can...
My friend Ranjita Di, she has got 3,000 plus follower on YouTube. Recent she did some video. In that video also I am there.
Acha? So what was that video?
377 এর পর প্রাইড ওয়াক যেটা হয়েছিল, I did one dance there actually.
Oh, what kind of dance?
All type, Bollywood, hip hop, folk.
So you're a dancer.
দেখে মনে হয় না?
Hey, একটু চা খাওয়াবি please?
সবাই খাবে?
দুটো করলে...
Actually,
Yeah?
yeah, I'll have some.
তাহলে তিনটে কর।
দুধ চিনি?
আমি তো শুধু লিকার। You want milk and sugar?
আমার সবকিছু।
Sure.
Not too sweet though, right? ওকে 8 চামচ চিনি দিস, বেশি মিষ্টি পছন্দ করে না।
শুনুন, আমার এইসব কম মিষ্টি ফিষ্টি চলবে না, ফুল 2 চামচ দেবেন, ঠিক আছে তো? আর দাদা, দুখানা বিস্কুট হবে কি?
অবশ্যই হবে। কি বিস্কুট মেরি?
ওই হলেই হলো।
তাহলে কৌটোটা নিয়ে আসিস।
ঠিক আছে।
আমি পুরো বিস্কুটটা ডুবিয়ে খেতে ভালোবাসি, চাতে গলে যাতে একদম...
আমিও তাই করতাম।
আরে আমি এখনো করি, কচি বাচ্চার মতো।
He's saying he likes dissolving his biscuits and...
I make biscuit soup actually,
Oh, yeah?
like a baby.
I still can't with how y'all call cookies biscuits.
Cookies?
They're definitely not biscuits.
He and my baba have this argument all the time. Rahim's from the south, so he thinks biscuits are basically bread.
Your parents are in America also?
Yeah, in San Jose in California.
California?
One of the kakus I grew up with, he used to tell this story. I think his brother was visiting, or maybe it was his... In any case, someone was visiting for the first time from Kolkata. And so this person who's visiting, let's say there's some nemontono and a bunch of kakus are sitting around, right? And this guy's like, oh, how long have you all lived in San Jose? And they're like, oh no, it's actually San Jose, not San Jose. They correct him. And so the guy is like, oh, okay, cool, got it. And then sometime later, I don't know, I'm making up the details. He's like, oh, I have a friend who lives in La Jolla. I'm going to visit him in La Jolla. And so I was like, no, it's not La Jolla, it's La Jolla, right? And so it goes on like this. The guy is like, Junipero. And they're like, no, it's Junipero. And then eventually someone asks when he's in town, when he's planning on returning and going back to India. And the J2 casually is like, oh, sometime in Hunhulai. Like instead of June, July, he said Hunhulai. Never mind.
No, I get it.
I guess it only works because Bangladesh we say like May, June, or June, July to mean like around that time.
So Hollywood then ki actually it should be Jollywood.
What? That was funny.
অ্যাভেঞ্জার্স এন্ড গেম দেখেছো? দেখোনি? ফাটাফাটি সিনেমা। দেখো আইনক্সে চলছে।
Want to go see Avengers Endgame?
Kill me.
I thought you wanted a Kolkata cinema experience. Intermission, they'll come sell tea, coffee, all the sexy scenes will be cut.
ওখানে হলে কাট ছাড়াই দেখায় নাকি? সাধে লোকেরা বলে ইন্ডিয়া নাকি ব্যাকওয়ার্ড দেশ।
I mean,
see it in US actually. Here there are too much of cuts.
The US has its own.
But why have you not seen it then? এখানে চলছে মানে তো আমেরিকায় আগেই চলছিল।
Yeah, why haven't we seen Avengers Endgame, Raheem?
Do me a favor. Look on the monitor and let me know when the mic's out of frame. See it?
Yep, it's in frame now. In, out.
আচ্ছা ওদেশে কি মানে প্রফেশনটা কি আপনাদের রোজগার কি এইভাবেই করেন?
রোজগার বিশেষ করি না, আমি এখনো পিএইচডি নিয়েই লড়ে যাচ্ছি। Raheem, he works as a freelance.
What's the question?
What do we do professionally? Raheem's a director of photography.
Director? ওই শাল।
Mostly for documentaries, documentary films.
মানে cinematography, lighting, camera work এসব আর কি।
I also want to do dance in films actually. এখানে একটা কোর্সে এনরোল করতে চেয়েছিলাম, কিন্তু আপনাদের ওখানে যেমন ডান্স নিয়েই পড়াশোনা করা যায়, এখানে তো সেরকম না।
Well, even in the States, I mean, becoming a professional artist isn't, and you might feel differently, I don't know, but I feel like there aren't super clear pathways and the barrier to entry is.
But is it seen মানে কি বলবো, is it seen as a career actually?
I mean, I wouldn't.
Sure.
You think it is?
I mean, it's a career for sure.
I feel like most artists are also teaching or.
এখানে যেমন ডান্স, especially hip hop, Bollywood, these things, it is seen as bad culture. অপসংস্কৃতি আর কি।
So interesting that you bring that up because Opscenities is a word I've been kind of obsessed with in my own work, and it's sort of the impulse behind this project actually. We're talking about middle class moral panic, so Opscenities is like.
I remember you explained it before.
একবার পহেলা বৈশাখে আমরা ওই বাচ্চাদের ম্যাজিক শো হয় না, ট্রুপ নিয়ে আমরা একটা ডান্স মেডলি করেছিলাম ওই ম্যাজিক শোর আগে। কতগুলো পুচি পুচি বাচ্চা বেতালে হাততালি দিচ্ছে, তার মধ্যে মনে আছে কোন পাড়ার কাকিমা হঠাৎ চেঁচিয়ে বলে, তোমাদের লজ্জা করে না? ঠিক ওরকম নাকি নাকি সুরে।
You're recording this, right?
Almost.
Okay, because we did exactly.
আমরা দিদি হাসবো না কাঁদবো নাচতে নাচতে প্রায় গড়িয়ে পড়ছি।
And was this মানে কি দেখে কাকিমা এত উত্তেজিত হয়ে পড়লো?
আর কি মেয়েরা সব কোমর দুলিয়ে।
Oh, so it wasn't you that. Actually, can we pause for just? Raheem's almost ready, and I just want to make sure that we get this on camera.
Sorry. Is it cool if I put a little powder on your nose? There's a little shine I want to get rid of.
বাবা কি সার্ভিস।
It's okay?
কাম Hollywood level. So this, it will also be a documentary?
Not as such. So I'm actually interested in using the language of documentary, but to build a kind of a different kind of archive of.
Sorry, one more thing. Could you just run your hand through your hair once?
Hair?
There's just a flyaway that's catching the light.
Like this?
That's great. Thanks.
We good?
Yep. Let's just get 30 seconds of room tone.
Can we do it at the end?
Sure.
Or fine, let's just do it now. Sorry, শুরু করার আগে we just need a 30 seconds of silence to capture the sound of the room. কথা ছাড়া ঠিক আছে তো?
My hair, it's okay?
Looks great.
জানলে একটু সেজে আসতাম মাইরি।
কোথায় সুন্দর লাগছে তো।
কাজল ফাজল কিচ্ছু ছাড়া।
Want to take a look at the shot real quick?
বললাম সুন্দর লাগছে।
দেখি।
Can
ঠিক আছে?
এবার ঠিক।
স্টার্ট করলাম তাহলে 30 second silence starting Now.
কিবা গুরগুরায়া দিয়া ডাকে গগন হইল
মানে জিতেশ দা
No worries.
ও জিতেশ দা
যাই
I think we got enough.
either way we need quiet while
I mean, I think noise is just gonna be a part of the vibe. We should plow ahead. If something egregious happens, I can pause us.
সরি আমাদের বাড়িটা পুরো চিড়িয়াখানা হ্যাঁ রে আমরা খানিকক্ষণ একটা ইন্টারভিউ রেকর্ড করছি তাই যদি
এ মা
না লজ্জার কিছু নেই জাস্ট খানিকক্ষণ যদি আওয়াজটা একটু কম করা যায়
আপনার গলাটা কিন্তু ফাটাফাটি দাদা,
হ্যাঁ
ফার্স্ট ক্লাস। মা কালীর দিব্যি বলছি, পুরো পূর্ণদাস বাউল।
কি রে এরকম প্রশংসা পেয়েছিস আগে?
চাটা কি তাহলে পরে আনবো?
না এখনই আন, ফাঁকে দু চুমুক খেয়ে নেব।
এসে একটা গান শোনাবেন কিন্তু, ইয়ার কি না?
Are we still?
Yeah, I'm rolling.
ওকে সো তখন তুমি বলছিলে যে মেলাতে একটা নাচ করেছিলে।
সো ইন্টারভিউ হ্যাজ স্টার্টেড।
I mean don't think of it so much as a
ইট শুড বি ইংলিশ, তাই না?
বাংলা ইংলিশ feel free to move
ইংলিশ ইজ নো প্রবলেম।
No of course I'm just saying if something comes up মানে আমারও হয়তো মনে হবে এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আলোচনা করতে গেলে বিশেষ করে বাংলা বেরোচ্ছে then I'll switch and
বাট বাংলা হাউ দে উইল আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড?
কে
মানে এটা তো একটা আমেরিকান ফিল্মই হবে নাকি?
I mean I don't know that the audience isn't it's really to start building an archive but either way subtitles to ache so I wouldn't worry about
আচ্ছা ওকে ওকে। সো সাম সাবজেক্ট ইজ দেয়ার অর?
well I'm interested in this word অপসংস্কৃতি that you
এই যে চমৎকার।
এখানে রাখি
হ্যাঁ রাখ ওখানে তারপর
বিস্কুট।
ওরে বাবা, আবার দুটো মিষ্টিও?
is that in your shot or
I think it's fine if it's in there. We might as well.
ভাইয়ের জন্য এখানে রাখলাম।
Oh, thank you.
আমি এক্ষুনি মিষ্টি খাবো না
ঠিক আছে।
কোথায় চললেন দাদা?
হ্যাঁ
গানটা যাতে মিস না হয়।
তোর খাওয়া হয়েছে?
ভাত তো এইমাত্র বসালাম।
এক কাজ কর তাহলে শেষ করে আয় ততক্ষণে আমাদের
ওই যে কীর্তন গাইছিলেন একটা?
আপনারা তো ব্যস্ত।
কোথায় ব্যস্ত? চা খেতে খেতে তো আর শুটিং হবে না।
রাহিম বলছিল we're cool to record with the tea yeah
Whatever y'all want.
আরে দু লাইন অন্তত গেয়ে যান। চাটা কিন্তু দাদা হেভি হয়েছে।
গেয়ে ফেল একটা এত করে বলছে তারপর যা শেষ করতে
ভাওয়াইয়া
শুনি।
একটুখানি গাইছি। কিবা গুরগুরায়া দেয়া ডাকে গগন হইল কালা কই রইলা প্রাণ বন্ধুরে। কিবা গুরগুরায়া দেয়া ডাকে গগন হইল কালা কই রইলা প্রাণ বন্ধুরে। আমার মন হইল উতলা আমার প্রাণ হইল উতলা আমার মন হইল উতলায় আমার প্রাণ হইল উতলা কই রইলা প্রাণ বন্ধুরে। কিবা গুরগুরায়া দেয়া ডাকে গগন হইল কালা কই রইলা প্রাণ বন্ধুরে।
উফ, ফাটাফাটি। ইউ শুড শুট দিস না, লোকাল ট্যালেন্ট।
এ রাম,
বড্ড মিষ্টি কিন্তু আপনার গলা।
ভালো হয়েছে, সত্যিই ভালো।
ওই গানটা জানেন কি, মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা?
হ্যাঁ,
খুব ফেভারিট গান আমার। সেজে নেচেছিলামও একবার পুজোর ফাংশনে।
কি করছিস তোরা?
Are you serious right now?
হ্যালো,
নমস্কার মাসিমা।
মিষ্টি পেয়েছো?
পেয়েছি, দাদার গানও শুনেছি।
ও জয় মা। জিতে শেষে বলল, আরে জানাবি তো বন্ধু এসেছে তোদের, ঘুগনি বানিয়ে রাখতাম।
পিসিমণি, আমরা আসলে একটা কাজে ব্যস্ত ছিলাম।
সরি, ডিস্টার্ব করলাম। মনে হলো গান টান হচ্ছে, ভাবলাম একবার দেখে আসি। বহুদিন উঠিনি তিনতলায়। দেখছিস তো এরকম কুমড়ো পটার শরীর নিয়ে ওপর নিচ করা কি কেলেঙ্কারি। তোরা বাচ্চা, তোরা কাজ কর, আমি একবার মাকে দেখা দিয়ে আসি। বাবা, বিরাট প্রোডাকশন চলছে তো। হ্যালো।
দাদার গানের রেকর্ডিং চলছে, সারেগামাতে পাঠানো হবে।
হ্যাঁ, তাই নাকি?
ইয়ার কি মারছে, আমরা আসলে
তোমার নামটাই তো জিজ্ঞেস করলাম না।
আমার নাম সৌ।
সৌ?
সৌভিকটা বড্ডই পুরুষ পুরুষ লাগে, তাই না?
শোকে ইন্টারভিউ করছি আমাদের প্রজেক্টের জন্য।
আচ্ছা, কিসের প্রজেক্ট রে?
বললাম না, একটা অন্য ধরনের আর্কাইভ।
তুই হাতে মিষ্টি নিয়ে দাঁড়িয়ে আছিস কেন ওরকম স্ট্যাচুর মতন?
এই ভাতটা একবার দেখে আসি।
দে একটা সন্দেশ, হাতে রয়েছে যখন। খাওয়া উচিত নয় যদিও। আরো চা রয়েছে কি?
হ্যাঁ।
দিবি 1 কাপ চিনি ছাড়া? জানিস, ডায়াবেটিস নাকি পা দিয়ে ঢোকে, কৃমির মতন।
আপনার কি সুগার? আমার মারও সুগার নিয়ে অনেক ঝামেলা।
আর বলিস না, কত কিছু কন্ট্রোলে রাখতে হয়। ডাক্তার বলেছে সব কিছুই নাকি মেপে মেপে খেতে হবে।
মারও ঠিক তাই।
তুই বলে ফেললাম কিন্তু, বাচ্চা ছেলে, ঠিক আছে তো?
একদম ঠিক।
আসলে ছোটন তো আমার ছেলের মতনই। ওর যে কত বন্ধু এসেছে এই বাড়িতে।
Don't worry.
I just want to make sure.
একটু গাইবে নাকি দাদা? দেখি মেনকার রূপটা মনে পড়ে কিনা।
আমার গলায় তো সুরই নেই, তাই চিরকাল জিতেশের ভজনেই বাড়ির পুজো চলে। মার সাথে গোল পার্কেও নিয়ে গেছিলাম কয়েকবার। মহারাজ শুনে বলেছিলেন নাকি ঐশ্বরিক গলা।
সত্যিই তাই।
এই নাচটা কবে করেছিলে?
ওই ক্লাস 8 নাগাদ। মা বেচারি প্রায় অজ্ঞান হয়ে গিয়েছিল দেখে। চোখে কাজল, টকটকে লাল লিপস্টিক, হাতে আলতা। কিন্তু আমি ভাই শর্টকাটের মধ্যে নেই, করলে ঠিক মতনই করা উচিত, তাই না?
সো এই নাচটা যেটা করেছিলে, ক্যান ইউ ডিসক্রাইব ইট? মানে
হ্যাঁ, মুদ্রাটা মনেই আসছে না। ও দাদা, গাইবেন নাকি একবার? জামাই চিরকালে ন্যাংটালো ন্যাংটা, মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা।
মেনকা মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা।
আহা,
মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা। বেছে বেছে করলি জামাই, বেছে বেছে করলি জামাই, চিরকালই ন্যাংটালো ন্যাংটা।
ও।
মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা, মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা। গড়িয়ে সোনার পুতলি বুড়ো বড়ে বিহা দিলি, গড়িয়ে সোনার পুতলি বুড়ো বড়ে বিহা দিলি। রাস্তায় যেতে ঢলে পড়ে, বাতাসে তার দন্ত নড়ে। মেনকা মেনকা সে যে ভালো, হাতির গলায় ঘন্টা আলো ঘন্টা। মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা,
ও
মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা। সতীর তটে বাঘম্বরা নিদয়াটা গাজায় দেয় দম। সতীর তটে বাঘম্বরা নিকম্মাটা গাজায় দেয় দম। আবার হাতে ত্রিশূল মাথায় জটা, হাতে ত্রিশূল মাথায় জটা, ঠিক ভিখারি ঢংটা লো ঢংটা। মেনকা 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 মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা,
ও মেনকা,
মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা। শ্মশানে মশানে থাকে ওই তো ভূতের রাজা। শ্মশানে মশানে থাকে ওই তো ভূতের রাজা। ও মেনকা, শ্মশানে মশানে থাকে ওই তো ভূতের রাজা। আবার ভবপতি ভেবে বলে, মেনকা মেনকা গেলি ভুলে, দেখে সাদা পরা রংটা লো রংটা। মেনকা 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 মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা,
ও মেনকা,
মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা। মেনকা মাথায় দিল ঘোমটা।
And we're back. Thanks for bearing with all of the technical difficulties, folks. I'm glad we finally got there. I'm so glad to have my dear friend and thought partner in so many aspects of life, Durba Mitra, here with me to just have a conversation with you all after having heard this is the first step in this piece's development process. So thank you for being here with us and for bearing patiently with the delay. Really appreciate you all. Yeah, being our guinea pigs as we start to explore this piece. Durba is like just incredible in all so many different kinds of ways, but she's primarily a historian and scholar of sexuality, professor at Harvard University, and we've been having conversations around all kinds of things that have inspired this piece. I feel like this piece is inspired in many ways by conversations that I've been having with Durba for many years, so it feels really lovely to be in
Yeah, and it's so
conversation.
nice because we're basically going to reenact the joy that we feel with one another
Absolutely.
for you all. Exactly. And so we've been talking about this piece for a while now. And I think Zoom allowed us to think across in a way that I wouldn't have imagined. And one of the things I was thinking about when watching and I really listening again is how this venue of whatever digital life that we lead has really transformed your work, Misha, and really made us listen in different ways. Like I've thought so much about how your other writing uses the body so much on stage. And so with the absence of the body, how you have reconceptualized the work. So I wondered if I could start with a question about that, like how you
Sure.
feel this genre, what does it do to the work? And then maybe we can start talking a little bit about how you came to this particular piece.
Absolutely. Well, I think this feels like a sort of lovely transition. I think that I entered into this strange year from a place of reluctance in relationship to making work for the internet. And then I discovered the capacity to sort of tell stories in a different kind of way in collaboration with folks who are really fluent in sound and video. And so I was doing work that was for that landscape really actively earlier this year. And then this piece, is meant to be, this piece will be on a stage live with bodies eventually. And because in this moment we're being asked to work in these ways, I felt as though that audio universe that I'd been dabbling in felt like the best way to sort of like hear this piece for the first time. I mean, usually at this point in a play's development process, we'd be sitting at a table just doing a good old-fashioned like 29-hour reading, and I feel like the experience of that is so much about being in a room, and I didn't want to really do that over Zoom. And I also think this, like the environment of this play, the house really is the like protagonist in so many ways. And so I felt as though Chelsea Daniel, who I've been working with for a while, is an exquisite sound designer. And I wanted to at least bring some sense of that like Shruti Natok radio play like vibe into even at this first juncture. This is a work in process. It's not meant to be a radio play, but I'm like, why don't we try and hear it as a radio play? And this is just the first 3 scenes. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, it just, first of all, reminds me of old like ideas of radio in Hindustan. It's like an older tradition of storytelling, which I think you really pull, you're playing with in how you conceptualize this work, because and it's called Public Obscenities, and a lot of our conversation has been about that title. So I wondered if you could talk about why Public Obscenities for a play that really takes place in the most intimate parts of life.
Yeah. I mean, titles are I love titles because I think they like require a kind of, oftentimes, I mean, this title existed for this piece in my mind sort of before the narrative of the piece started to come to life. There's I'm sort of pilfering from myself. I had written a poem that wasn't particularly good way back in the day called Public Obscenities. The best thing about the poem was the title, and it has been, so Public Obscenities conjures up all kinds of different connotations for me, one of which of course is the colonial era set of laws that continues to criminalize various kinds of behaviors and materials that fall under the sign of obscenity. And I have always been interested in like, there are some really compelling writers that I've been reading who sort of look at what falls under the sign of obscenity and pornography in specifically a Bengali, but also sort of broadly speaking, a post-colonial South Asian context. And I just, but like that's the sort of like, I am interested in those sort of like historical sort of like macro questions, but I also feel as though my experience of moving through sort of autobiographically, the autobiographical seeds of this piece bring to mind just the porosity which you and I have talked so much about and experienced between the private and the public in Kolkata. I feel as though until relatively recently, my experience back in Kolkata was one of the home, because a kind of public life was, it wasn't like, it wasn't a city in which one goes and like hangs out in commercial spaces like a bar or a restaurant. It really was like the street and the home. But then the home itself, like even though the city is perhaps more private, domestic, the home space itself sort of rubs up against any kind of American sensibility of like privacy that I bring to an expectation of an adult life, right?
Right. And you can hear that, right? Over and over again.
Yeah.
You can hear the way the characters insert the invasion of privacy, the American versus the Bengali, like the sense of interruption that happens in the private space, because privacy has this whole other meaning in the context of Kolkata.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that from your, the way the doors are organized, even in the family house, a joint family house. And one of the things that, you and I spoke a lot about was, of course, that obscenities, even the idea of obscenity as a legal idea, has this very public, it is about acts that are considered out of the norm or deviant in public space. And so one of the things that's so stunning about this piece is the way you invert that logic, but also the way that inverted logic, when they're doing all of their looking on Tinder and then they go and they're doing their research with Tinder, what we learn, of course, is that the public and the private don't have very much meaning as a distinct domains anymore. And I think in COVID times, it becomes like vivid. Like, what is the public right now when we stay inside?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like so much of the writing of the piece has emerged from these kinds of like as a writer, it's been a really exciting process to discover plot inside of these really sort of seemingly mundane material realities. Like it's like what happens is a result of like the mechanism of a camera, or what happens is necessitated by like, oh, where would they do this interview? Of course, the interviewee would be invited to the house, because where else do they have to conduct this professional work? But the professional work must take place in the home, and so like it's been, and it's exciting to think about that kind of like thematically and theoretically, but on a like super micro level, I just enjoy being like, oh, of course, like what will happen. I mean, that room tone scene for me, it was not that I set out to write a scene in which X, but it was like, well, what would happen if somebody was trying to collect room tone in a Kolkata Bashar, and it's like I'm like, oh, what kinds of interruptions might like do I imagine happening? And yeah, it's been, and I'm excited. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens in the rest of the play. That's what's been it's what I love about this kind of writing. I'm still sort of like waiting to see what these characters do.
Right. And I just, again, I love it. I think it's so interesting to listen to. I've listened to the performance 3 times today, and I mean, they have so much to say, but we have a lot of questions, or we have some questions, and I just want to make sure we take time. If you have more questions, please
feel free
put
to
it
ask
in the
questions.
chat. One of the questions is basic, and I realize that this kind of basic question is really important. When is this play set?
It is set to. I have a very specific answer to that. It is set in. Oh, hold on. It's like. It is April of 2019. Is that accurate? Yes, it is April of 2019, which is 4 months after. So it's like after. It is prior to the pandemic and after the Supreme Court decision to decriminalize homosexuality in India. And so there's a very particular window in which like this research wants to be taking place.
Absolutely. I mean, exactly. It's prior to the pandemic, so there can be so much human touch, but then also, if you have any other questions, please put it in the chat.
Yes, ask questions. You probably have much more interesting questions for us than we have for each other. So
I mean, we've been talking about this for so long, but I wonder if you, as you are talking about these kind of key questions, what are some directions that you see the play going now? We've gotten a glimpse of these spaces. We're getting to know the characters. We're all invested, so we want to know what happens.
I mean, I know a little bit, and there's a lot. I mean, like, I feel like I would like the clever answer would be like, I don't want to give spoilers, but the reality is like there are so many different like choose your own adventure paths that I am continuing to write inside of. I am particularly interested in the sort of object of the role of film that Raheem discovers inside of the camera, and without sort of, I feel like I can't prescribe what happens too much because I haven't even decided upon it, but I do feel as though there is a prehistory that exists in relationship to like who exists in front of the camera and behind the camera. I think that what I will say is that what is on those photographs reveals something about Jitesh's relationship to the home that might not have been previously understood. And so what I'm interested in exploring is how what Choton, who arrives with a kind of uh, presumption and expectation about what the trajectory of his work will look like, how that kind of productive derailing sort of results in him thinking differently about like not only his family, but also I think this film will be a kind of aperture into Choton realizing that there are certain things he sees in the home and other things that he doesn't. Like I feel like even in this final scene, we see how Rahim is like sort of willing to sort of follow what's in front of his nose and like let the camera to Choton, Jitesh's singing is a kind of interruption, but to Rahim, it's a sort of like productive. That song itself is so much about public obscenities, and Choton's like, this is getting in the way of my research, and Rahim is like, this is actually way more interesting than what we were talking about before, and so yeah, I'm excited to see how those tensions result in other kinds of story making between the characters. Oh, look, questions.
I mean, yeah, they were getting a lot of questions. So I'm gonna interrupt you more, Misha. There was some comments, especially about interviewing and doing research, which I found really striking. Several people talking about, or some people talking about how you remind them of the experience of research. Some talking about that, like the interruptions that are part of research. Why did you want one of your characters to be a researcher?
I think that the piece for me is about the sort of in many ways about Choton's the ways by which Choton enters into his relationship to Kolkata and his home country. So I talk a lot about like, clearly there's a pleasure that he takes in the role of translator, and a pleasure that he takes in maintaining a certain kind of fluency in both the U.S. and back in Bengal. But I think both in terms of his relationship to his Bangaliness and his relationship to his queerness, there's a kind of sort of like out-of-body ethnographic like point of entry from which he enters into himself academically. And so I'm interested in what it means for I'm interested in trying to sort of pick apart the various layers of like Choton's sort of how he cannot but be an ethnographer even in his own body and in his own home. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is, we've been giving us a sense of Choton and his choices. We have one question in the chat that asks about you, which is how did making this work change your relationship to your own father? And maybe we can broaden it, because I really think another interesting element in the piece is the relationship of Choton, not to the immediate family, but actually the way in which the extended family is part of everyday life and explanation. And one of the things that you and I both know in pandemic is all of this movement to see other people is just immobilized. And so it's really striking. It's striking to me that you write this about a place that you likely haven't gone to for a long time now. So the question is about your relationship to your father. But I wonder if you could also just talk about family relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this piece is emerging from an autobiographical impulse, certainly. I mean, the plot veers far from a kind of true storytelling. It is entirely fiction, but the landscape of the home and the characters definitely emerge from some of the dearest people in my life, and that joint family household that I grew up in, that the piece is dedicated to my mama and my mami, and that's my mamar bari. I have made it a sort of like Pishimoni and Pishe's home, which is slightly different from my own experience. But yeah, I mean, it feels, I mean, like I had a Zoom call with my aunt for her 70th birthday the other day, and she very much inspires the character of Pishimoni, and I recorded some of it and sent it to Gargi, who was playing Pishimoni, because I do think those of us living here in the diaspora, both those of us who were sort of like raised here, but like there is a kind of like, it's very difficult to sort of like hold on to like the sense of that environment, and it's like it feels as though whenever I'm on the phone talking to my family back in Kolkata, or like on a Zoom call, there's a kind, I'm sort of like jolted back into that sort of like other understanding of space, even through the screen. And so I feel like, I don't know, I mean, like I'm excited for my family to see the piece and see the work. And my dad has been a collaborator on this particular iteration of it, helping me with all kinds of things, including doing some of the like some of the script is written in English transliteration for various reasons, but there's been like, it's been an opportunity to like sit with both my dad and my mom, and my dad more actively in this particular piece. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I feel really blessed to be able to, I have a kind of relationship with my extended family that allows for, I don't feel as though I have to like hide this work from them, even though it like is so close to their own skin. Yeah, it makes me want to, in many ways, I guess I haven't said this yet, but originally I was saying that the piece was inspired by my uncle had told me a dream he had had once, and he was like, and the dream was like a movie that he'd seen in a movie theater. That was what the content of the dream was, and he had described it to me in detail, and then said, "Go make the movie." And to me, it was more, like I didn't want to make the movie of his dream, but what was interesting to me was the sense that he had, that I had the capacity to like, that I was the artist in New York, and therefore that I had the whatever, the tools, the capacity, the access to like take his dream and somehow make it into something. And so that sort of like feeling of like responsibility, I think, is motivating my writing of this in a lot of ways.
And I love it because, I mean, that's a great story. I love it because it also it just hints at the fact that you're part of a tradition of playwriting that's very Bengali, also a part of tradition of playwriting that's very Asian American. I mean, it is all of the things, right? So it's,
yeah,
there are multiple traditions that you get to pull on, of being a person of color, of being a queer person of color, so queer artists. And so your work always helps us think across genres and formations, political, identitarian formations. I want to make sure that we have time. Any last questions? There's a lot of embedded resonances in the chat about the other one, of course, is about the Bengali theater scene. So, which is why your telling of your story about your uncle is completely not surprising. Like maybe someone works a mundane job and maybe you do your everyday job, but when you have a dream, you still believe in a tradition of storytelling. I feel like that's something you capture in this so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just going to say that I haven't mentioned yet that I feel like I've been wanting to write a piece like this for a very long time, but I have always, there are possibilities even in the last 10 years that things have changed in such a way that make it seem possible for me to write this piece, I think that like I've been encouraged by my mentors for years to embrace a kind of embrace the bilinguality that I live in my work, but that has always felt, I'm like, but where and how and for whom? Does that mean that I have to work back in Kolkata? How do I create work that is as much in Bangla as it is in English for primarily English-speaking audiences here in the States? But you know, like this cast has really like even just doing this audio iteration has sort of unlocked for me like a kind of confidence. I'm like, oh, okay, this is originally, I don't know, I'm just sort of like, oh, there are actors here in the States that embody the sort of like spectrum of different sort of linguistic cultural experiences that are the Bengali diaspora. It's not simply that there are actors who are more recent immigrants from India. There are actors who grew up mostly in the States like me, and so I felt really heartened to discover that that I could like find people to embody all of those characters
Yeah.
from this
I mean,
community
I think
here.
it's interesting because this play, I think, plays the most with, as you say, multilinguality than anything I've seen of yours. And so, I mean, obviously, other than the work that you've actually been doing for the whole pandemic. And I feel like it actually, when you're just listening, that's when you can hear the linguistic translation more, because there's something about the kind of magnified position of the ear in the way the performance happened tonight. Well, it has been a pleasure to talk to you and to
Yes.
hear everyone. And
Thank you all so much for being a part of this first step forward in making this piece. Yeah, and I'm looking forward, and we will certainly continue to, if you found your way to this piece through Soho Rep, then I'm sure that you will continue to be made aware of steps in the piece's development as it continues to come to life. And I look forward to, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I want to sort of like say thanks to, you know, like it is not usual for me to look at a chat and see Bangali folks engaging with the work who aren't my family and friends. So those of you who are commenting, I'm like, I don't know you, and I'm so glad to have met you virtually through this work.
And it's great. And I think I just want to say thanks to Soho Rep for supporting the work that you're doing.
Yes.
Because, you know, again, in this time, this is the kind of work that I know my students want to hear and think with. And I, you know, it's just a great privilege to hear you. I'm gonna let you say thanks to the cast and everyone else. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you, Durba. Thank you to Shamrat and Gargi and Haroon and Namir and Goshik and Shunandu for making this piece come alive, to Chelsea and Lindsay and my dad Bartu and Shukonna and Eliza Grace, the creative team, and to the Soho Rep family, to my Project Number One family for, I don't know, this year has been crazy, and Soho Rep really has, I mean, I would not have been able to sit down for 6 months and write this piece if it weren't for this gift of time that Project Number One has been. So if you haven't checked out the other Project Number One artists' work, there's some I'm sitting right now in front of an actual three-dimensional installation in the theater. So make sure to check out Soho Rep's socials and all the places where you can find out about what's still going on. Yeah, thank you all. I think I just, you know, here's the, I guess I just sign off now. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Stay in touch.